If you're looking to buy a gaming mouse, then you're at the right place. In this video, we will take a look at what I think are the best gaming mice of 2021. I'm going to start from the lower end in terms of price, and then we'll move on to the way up to the higher end ones. To see the most up-to-date prices and find out more information about these mouses, you can check out the links in the description below. Let's get started. First, we are going to take a look at my favorite budget gaming mice. Number one, we have the Razer Viper Mini. Starting off, we have the Razer Viper Mini. As a baby version of the full-fat alternative, it's kind of sweet, but that doesn't mean it's lesser. Much of what makes the Razer Viper great is present here. There are new optical switches for faster clicks, a focus on esports, a speed flex cable for less drag, 6 programmable buttons, and 100% PTFE, feet for smoother, quicker glides. Razer, as you may know, have been pushing their new optical mouse switches with their recent releases. And if you knew that, you probably also know that these have been somewhat polarizing in the community. Yes, the added durability is great, and in theory, the faster response time is awesome too. But they did have to sacrifice a lot of what satisfying crispness that you get with a traditional mechanical switch in order to get to those response times and durability ratings. At least at first. This Viper Mini isn't just a scaled down version of the regular Viper. It's also very much an attempt by Razer to get into that budget mouse market. For this reason, the Mini doesn't house the usual Razer Focus Plus, its over 9000 dpi kind of sensors, but just a regular variation of the 3359. If you want the best gaming mouse but don't fancy spending loads on it and aren't fussed about having the fastest draw in the West, the Razer Viper Mini is an excellent choice. Number 2, we have the Logitech G502. If you like bigger, heavier mice but like to dial in the weight just so, this is the unit. The Logitech G502 Hero has all that gaming goodies too. It has a high tracking rate, adjustable DPI, CPI, and a flawless sensor. If you're familiar with the previous iteration of the G502, don't expect to see much change on the outside. It's still the dark, moody, angular Batmobile like most that it's always been. It looks odd in an office environment but fits in a gaming battle station just fine. The G502 Hero features customizable RGB lighting for the DPI indicators and Logitech G logo. Both lighting zones are smartly placed so they're visibly between your thumb and index finger when holding the mouse. The Logitech G502 Hero features the 1000 Hz polling rate and a 1 ms response time as expected from a proper gaming mouse. And we hardly notice any shortcomings in this department. The Hero sensor offers flawless tracking from our experience with it. It supports a DPI range from 100 to 16,000, though we find the upper limit largely unimportant. What matters is how well it responds to our hand movements and how consistent it is. Logitech's customization software is fairly easy to use and highly advised for a mouse with this many buttons. To make the most of the G502 Hero, you really need to have a plan for all the buttons. For the brilliant performance this mouse gives and the incredible flexibility provided by all its buttons and weight customization, we give it a solid thumbs up. Next up, let's take a look at what I think are the best mid-range gaming mice of this year. Number 1, we have the Endgame Gear XM1. Endgame Gear is a new name in the market of gaming peripherals. Their XM1 white gaming mouse is making quite some waves, particularly since the company has addressed the shortfalls in the first version. Weighing in at just 70 grams, the XM1 is extremely light, moving under the hand with the utmost ease. The braided flex cord cable is equally as light, providing a drag-free manipulation that could easily be mistaken for a wireless connection in a blindfold test. We were particularly impressed by the tension of the scroll wheel, which offers a controlled and firm notched roll, ideal for precise in-game inventory scrolling, and the position of the 2 thumbs button, which are prominent without intrusion, preventing any accidental presses. Many will have noted that a CPI button, commonplace feature of gaming mice, is missing. Well, that's because Endgame Gear has hidden their CPI switch on the underside. With the selected sensitivity profile being indicated via a colored LED, along with switchable CPI profiles, the XM1 allows the user to select their preferred polling rate, offering a choice of 250 Hz, 500Hz, or 1000Hz. At this price, the XM1 is definitely not the cheapest option, but if you take a glance at what it provides and look at the competition, I'd say it's priced more than fairly. It's an extremely well-designed mouse with a lot of great features, and I'm perfectly happy to say that it is one of the best mid-range gaming mice in the market. At number 2, we have the Razer Viper 8 kHz. The Razer Viper 8K Hz shows what an 8000 Hz polling rate can do to improve the tracking of the fast mouse movements if you have a powerful enough setup. It's equipped with Razer Focus Plus optical sensor with intelligent functions like smart tracking, asymmetric cutoff, and motion sense that can offer up to 20,000 dpi, 650 IPS, and 50 G of acceleration. And thanks to second generation Razer optical mouse switches, every click feels satisfying, bouncy, accurate, and the switches also give more lifespan. Having a true 8000 Hz polling rate means the mouse can send up to 8 times more data in a second, which reduces delay from 1 to 1/8 of a millisecond. This is more important if you have high refresh rate monitors like 360 Hz, for example, as the mouse can send more current data to match the display's frequency refresh rate. RGB is limited, but you can control brightness, pick between spectrum, cycling, breathing, reactive, static, or audio meter effects. You can also create your own effects in Chroma Studio and have RGB sync with other Razer Chroma RGB enabled products. Razer really likes to grab the title of world's first in any way they can, and the Razer Viper 8 kHz is definitely the fastest and smoothest mouse with that 8000 Hz polling rate. Razer Viper 8 kHz is definitely a mouse built for now and the future. Finally, for the people for which price isn't that important, we have a few amazing high-end options which are definitely worth the price if you can afford them. Number 1, we have the Razer Viper Ultimate. Moving on to the high-end options, first up we have the Viper Ultimate. It comes from Razer, so we are assured about the quality. It delivers a comfortable ambidextrous body, superb wireless connection, and nice wireless charging. This mouse has plenty going on with it, so a must consider for everyone that wants to give wireless a try. The scrolling wheel had a bit of resistance to it, but I think that it gives it a more sturdy and premium feel. One other thing that I feel that this mouse has done so well is the ambidextrous design that can be excellently used with right and left-handed people. There are 4 thumb buttons here, 2 on each side as well. The biggest selling point of this mouse though is its lengthy battery life that amounts to 70 hours before needing a recharge. The wireless signal didn't drop once during my testing, and the tastefully designed charging dock does its job excellently. The whole thing runs on the company's Synapse software that lets you customize the whole thing and set up profiles for individual games. The performance of the Razer Viper Ultimate has suited for a wide variety of games thanks to its high-grade optical sensor that delivers a 99.6% resolution and a DPI of up to 20,000. Simply amazing in every way, this mouse will provide you with a competitive edge without any cables. Number 2, we have the Logitech G Pro X Superlight. The Logitech G Pro X Superlight is an excellent gaming mouse. Even though it doesn't have a honeycomb design, it's still among the lightest mice we've ever tested, which is especially impressive considering it's wireless. It offers amazing performance whether used wired or wirelessly, with a very low click latency and a high polling rate. And its CPI can be customized precisely by increments of 50. All of its buttons can be reprogrammed, and you can also set a G-Shift button to give you a second layer of controls. But this may not be enough buttons for some MMO gamers. The G Pro X Superlight uses Logitech's G-Hub software. With that app, you can see the approximate length of time remaining before the mouse will need to be recharged and how much energy it's currently drawing. Unlike many other companies, Logitech represents this charge level with an actual percentage rather than an ambiguous battery icon that offers very little information. Logitech took one of the best mice on the market and made it more appealing to people who want the lightest, most responsive mouse possible. If you want the best gaming mouse, you should definitely check out the Logitech G Pro X Superlight because it really is one of the most best high-end options in the market. As per the buying guide, there are some steps we focus on, for example, like play styles. The gaming mouse requirements depend on the type of game that you play. Consequently, the game that you intend to play will determine the features that you consider the most important for your gaming mouse. For example, RTS and MMO gamers will require additional buttons that can be assigned to alternative functions and macros compared to FPS gamers who focus on accuracy and quick tracking. Second, we have size and shape. Most gaming mice look straight out of a space battle. Some of them even have great LED lights, but it's more important that the best gaming mouse for small hands is not too big. A proper mouse for small hands means that you're able to access the buttons without too much contorting. Also, you have to be able to play long hours without getting hand cramps. Look for ergonomic designs and thumbs rest. Number 3, DPI. Namely, the main benefit of having a high-end DPI mouse is the ability to adjust sensitivity on the fly. This can be very useful, especially in shooting games where precision is important. You could be using a high DPI setting by default, but switch to a low sensitivity setting when you need to be more accurate, such as when using a sniper rifle. That's it for me, guys. If you watched this video by the end and if it was helpful, please leave a like. Also, if you need something, if you have a question, drop a comment down below. We'll get back to you. Thank you.